morning, everybody, on a beautiful day here in Pittsburgh, on a beautiful Wednesday morning, I might add. However, it's met with a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess some confusion, if you will, a little bit of malaise, if you want to put it. It's hard to really assess this one way or another. The Pirates, by the way, are on a 6-game winning streak, in case you haven't really caught up with it. 5 of them have been in comeback fashion, but it's kind of met with some kind of, there's a cloud hanging over, so to speak. Jerry DePaula joining me in studio. Jerry, we find out yesterday afternoon, Jung-Ho Kang, Pirates third baseman, charged with sexual assault, according to the Trip's Bob Cohn in this morning's paper. And there's a lot there involving the details of the story. We don't want to get into everything. I mean, we don't have enough time to do that, at least not right now. But we do know that this stemmed back to a trip to Chicago, a road trip that the Pirates were on facing the Cubs. We know that the accuser is a 23-year-old young lady, and we know there's a lot involved here. The Pirates have officially not commented on the situation. They're waiting to see more information coming out. But the first thing I wanted to ask you, Jerry, is we've seen this situation happen before. We saw it last summer with Patrick Kane from the Blackhawks. We know it's not that foreign of a thing, and we've seen it here in Pittsburgh firsthand, Ben Roethlisberger and the accusations that he faced. But my first question to you would be is, how does something like this affect a locker room? It maybe not even a sexual assault accusation, but anything of a criminal nature, any kind of complaint or charges being filed.
I think if you're a professional, Josh, and I think that's true in any walk of life, if you're a professional, you can set this aside and you can, function. Other guys on the team might feel bad for Jung-Ho Kang. They may, they may be. What's the word I'm looking for? Upset at him, because, this is a major, the word I'm looking for is ugliness. If this actually happened, if it's true, and you're innocent until proven guilty in this country, it's not good. He put himself in a bad situation. I think it affects, I don't think it's going to affect the locker room, but I'll tell you what it might affect. It might affect Clint Hurdle's relationship, with Kang. I think what he wants to, if I was Hurdle, and Hurdle would be good at this, by the way, take him into the room, into his office, shut the door, and put the wrath of God, underneath him. Really, maybe he's innocent, maybe he did nothing wrong, but you can't put yourself in these kind of compromising situations if your team is depending on you, if the fans are depending on you, if you're making $3 million a year, which is pretty much what he's making. You have a responsibility to act properly, to act like an adult. He's not a kid. He's been around. He's a young guy. But it's so easy in this world to do the right thing, and to stay away from situations like this is so easy to do. And I think Hurdle, and I think he'd be good at this, needs to sit him down and say, Jung-Ho, this is wrong. We're going to punish you in some way. I think MLB is going to be the actual punisher in this situation. They can say he's going to sit down for 7 games, not the Pirates. But as far as expecting how the team plays, well, they won last night. Kang came up and got a hit as a pinch hitter late in the game.
Yes.
And for me, if I was accused of something like this, I couldn't function. I think my bosses downstairs would say, Jerry, go home for a while until we get this thing, sorted out. But he's playing. Now, the Cardinals are pitching a left-hander tonight. Doesn't Kang and Freese, shouldn't they both be in the lineup?
You'd imagine those would be the 2 guys starting in the lineup for the Pirates, and that really
It'd be interesting if Kang doesn't play. I'm sorry.
It would be interesting if he doesn't play, and I was going to point out, but before last night, from the date stemming back to the actual incident, that's Lisa's being categorized, that incident, I think he was hitting 171 in the time leading up from the actual incident itself until last night. So it could affect. Maybe it is affecting him to some degree, but then again, that's all speculation at this point.
How can it not affect you?
True.
If you're accused of something this heinous, it has to affect the way you operate in your life every day. It has to.
To get back to the locker room point of it, I think disappointment is a good word that you could use with this also. But moving forward as an organization, the Pirates have already been hit with injuries and different things and players underperforming. So it looks like this roster is already experiencing a lot of turnover as it is. And they're trying to still stay in a playoff race here. They're trying to still contend for a wild card and have a very far outside shot at the division. But, I'm wondering if this is something that either it affects the team negatively or maybe it's something that allows them to block everything out and focus on baseball. Some people tend to react in different ways and respond to different stimuli that way.
I think, guys who are professional baseball players can block everything out. They talk about it all the time, and they're human. They're affected by things, but it's also the almost a me generation. I'm worried about me more than I'm worried about the guy next to me most of the time. Now you feel bad for Jung-Ho Kang. You might be you might consider a reprehensible thing he did, and you might be really put off. He has friends on the team. I know him and Polanco are good friends. How is this going to affect his relationship with his teammates is another thing. I think it won't. I think professional ball players and professional athletes, they can set this stuff aside and just do their job. I really think it's not going to affect the pennant race. It's not going to affect the team. It might affect Gung for a while, but let's see how it gets sorted out first.
And the Pirates saying that they will conduct their own investigation. Major League Baseball saying they're monitoring the situation, so I'm sure we will find out more information as it comes. We will keep you updated here on Trib Live Radio.